If you've ever been in a content slump or you feel uninspired to create content, I think that this call is the one that you should attend. This week's mastermind was with Chelsea Peitz, and she is a speaker, a trainer, a coach, and an author who talks about and helps people be themselves and show up online. And so we dug in with her on the mastermind. Listen in and let me know what you think. What up, fam? Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I'm excited for today's call. Today, we're joined by someone who I think has really changed the way that people think about content and social media and video, and really has shaped the way that many people show up online. She's a speaker, a coach, an author, a trainer, a mentor, a friend. I'm excited to welcome Chelsea to the call today. What's going on, girl?
Yeah, I'm so excited. Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to see each and every one of you in the squares, especially Kate.
Um, and if you guys are OGs, she spoke at REVB 2023, I believe was the
Mhm.
year.
That's right.
So if y'all have
So
been
fun.
rocking with us for a while, you've seen her in person at one of our events, but she is you're always at things. I feel like you're always traveling and speaking. So drop a one in the chat if you have heard Chelsea speak in person. One in the chat if you've heard her speak in person. Okay, a couple people. I like it. I like it. And drop a two in the chat if you've seen her on a Zoom before. One in person, two in Zoom. One in person, two in Zoom.
Okay,
All
this
right.
is too much to think about this early
I,
in the
you
week.
know, yeah, you're on whatever time, Arizona time. It's not Pacific, it's Arizona. So
Yeah.
is it 11 or 10 there right now?
No, it's actually 10 and school is back in session here. So I'm just like, this is, yeah,
Oh,
life
just
is getting back to normal.
prancing around the house like, yes,
I'm
back
like,
to a
what's
schedule.
happening? No one's screaming. No kids are upstairs. I'm like, yes.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. So it looks like a lot of people are familiar with you or have heard you speak before. So I love that you guys are back for more. Chelsea and I were talking a little bit about, kind of things that are happening right now in 2025. And I think one of the things that I kind of wanted to kick off with that we were talking about is how um things are changing online. And so, like, for many people that are just continuing to do the same things that you've done, it may or may not be working right now. Right. And so, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if I always get asked about like, what are the trends? What are you seeing? What are the trends? And so I always look at it from the human perspective. Like, what is trending in the human world? Because at the end of the day, that's what we have, right? And what I find trending amongst a lot of people that I'm talking about, a lot of people I'm talking to at events and on one-on-one coaching calls is this overall discouragement of what has happened. Clearly, I've gotten off the right path because 5, 6 years ago, I used to be doing pretty well on social media. I'd be posting content and people would be engaging. And yeah, I do get some engagement here and there, but I feel like I've upped my game and I'm doing reels, doing TikToks and all the places. And like, what happened? So I don't care what kind of format people make, what kind of platform they're on, everybody is feeling like, what the heck has happened? And usually we look at it from a perspective of, obviously it's me. Nobody likes my content anymore. I'm getting boring. I need to figure out and reinvent and rebrand. And so I always like to look at things a little bit differently. I like to look at the whys behind what's happening. And so one of the things that I want to talk about is essentially how social media and content consumption and engagement have just changed across all the platforms because it's actually not your content. There might be some of it, right? We'll talk about that in a second. But ultimately, what's happening is, and I'm excited for it. I wasn't excited in the beginning, but now I've personally done a reframe and a mindset reshift. It's all about making up your own metrics at this point because one, none of you can tell me really what even counts as a view on Instagram. Is it a millisecond? Is it 1 second? Is it showing up on the screen? Just so you know, it's showing up on the screen. As soon as something shows up, that's a view. Well, how relevant is that?
Yeah,
YouTube is
it's
three
not.
seconds. So we're living in this world where we have all these arbitrary metrics that we actually don't even know what they mean, right? And then on top of that, obviously we have so much more content. Everybody's taking their video and posting it to all of the platforms. So the amount of content that we have flowing through our feeds is like nothing we've ever seen before. And last but not least, from a behavior standpoint, all of these platforms have absolutely trained the behavior out of us. We are no longer engaging. I'm putting myself in that. Okay. So I've got a friend, lots of friends on this call, but I'm going to call out Barb, who did this experiment with me. Y'all, we're heavy engagers. I know all of you guys are heavy engagers. We are about community. We are about connecting. We are about talking before creating, blah, 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 blah. I open up my Instagram. I call my girl Barb, right? I go, hey, open up your Instagram. I want to run a little experiment. Okay. So we open it up and I scroll through the first 25 posts. She scrolls through the first 25 posts. And what I expected to see was more ads and a lot of suggestions. But what I
Mhm.
actually saw and what Barb saw, and then I went down the road and had more people do this, we all literally saw the same ratios. We saw one person, one out of 25 that we actually talked to, that we DM with, we watch their stories, we talk to on a regular basis, one person. I saw one ad. Okay. I thought I was gonna see way more ads. Nope, I don't see ads that often. What was interesting is that the bulk of the things that I saw fell into two categories. Random people, I had no idea who they were, right? We're not surprised. Lots of recommendations, but also really bigger accounts that are sort of like celebrities. So, like, example, Mel Robbins. I don't know Mel. I don't chat with her in the DMs, right?
Yeah.
I maybe look and like her post. I don't even share stuff that
You
from
may not
people.
even like it.
Yeah, so I'm telling you this because even as a heavy engager, y'all, I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe that they're giving me random people that I don't talk to
Mhm.
when like this is what they say the algorithm is based on. So you've got this place where one, people aren't seeing you. So it's even more critical that we remember we've got to talk to people,
Yeah.
just like the real world. You've got to be out there using this as your prospect, your connecting, your relational time. And I know y'all would rather talk to people and make them feel seen than make 3 reels a day, except for Katie, who loves to make a reel. She's out making reels like 100 a day. We love that, right? But that's not for everyone. And even if she is making 100 reels, okay, well, who is seeing them? So it's kind of shocking to me that it's never been more important to be really heavily engaging with the people that you want to be seen by. The other thing is that some data came out from Meta. So this happened in April of this year. And Meta, had another FTC hearing. And during that FTC hearing, they had a bunch of slides. And what was interesting to me, and again, I wasn't at the FTC hearing, so I can only go off of articles and all of that information. It sounded to me like they were trying to make it a point to say, oh, we're not friends only anymore. Like Facebook used to be friends only. It used to be this closed system of people that you knew and you'd recycle through and see each other's content, right? The old days of social. They said now we're moving to Discovery Entertainment. And
Yeah.
what that really came down to in numbers is that the amount of time that we spend with friends' content that we actually engage with and probably know, and I'm going to say know whether it's virtually or in person, is 7% on Instagram, which is wild, right? Facebook is 17. You might think, oh, that's pretty good. But you guys remember, Facebook used to be a place where we would never accept a friend request if we didn't know those people in real life. So what happens now is we watch like TV. And now we're watching a random Netflix episode, but I'm not even watching a random Netflix series. I'm like pulling out episode 9
Yeah.
and just, have no context. So what's happening is zero people are engaging with people they don't know. And so it's not your content. The problem is that they have trained the engagement out of us. Well, if you look at numbers, you're just going to give up because the numbers keep going down for most people, not everyone, right? Not everyone. But you also have to remember too, our usual content is very niche. If you're talking about real estate, that's niche, right? If you're talking about real estate in a particular area, even more niche. Then you have to look at that type of content, and then I'll tell you how we can kind of balance it out. But that type of content also requires people to pay attention. That's not great on social,
Oh,
right? Because they're like, here's this cute dog. Here's somebody like unwrapping something and it's so relaxing. Here's somebody making a pie, but it's like at 3 speed, right? So our brain is out there seeking this like ASMR relaxation style of content to escape, to turn on the TV, if you will. So I want to encourage you more than ever that we can't go by the numbers, and now's the time to start making up your own metrics. Whether that's like, I'm going to post 3 times a week and I don't even care. I'm not going to look at the numbers, fine, because you can control that. You cannot control the engagement because what's happening is they have just taken it out of us. And I do the same thing. And I'm like, oh, scroll, 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 double tap, that's it. And then when you are so used to that, and then you finally get into your home feed and you see your friends, you forget. And so you're not engaging with them either. So I've really turned around my focus to talk. Number one, that's it, pretty much every time. Talk, then create, and then lastly, I consume. I actually try not to consume anymore, which is a big change, right? Because we were
yeah.
all out there looking for like trends and ideas and all the things. Yeah, Ray got to do some ASMR real estate. Like, yes, I'm sure if anyone could come up with it, Ray, it would be you. I'm terrified to even think of what that may be.
Yeah, no, I was like commenting on there, please don't.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm
everything,
gonna try.
yeah, no, we're muting you. So I feel like, Chelsea, I could be like, how's the weather today? And you just drop freaking bombs. Like I have so like as you were talking, I had more and more things. I'm like, oh, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to talk about. So I have like 30,000 different things in my
Go
brain
for
right
it.
now.
We're
But
going on with it. But like, let me know, you guys. Like, are you guys feeling that way? Because if I'm feeling that way, y'all must be feeling that way, right? Like, I can't be the only one where I'm like, what happened?
drop
Like,
a one in the chat if you
so
guys are
you
like, what
drop
the
something, and like everybody be like, oh yeah, this is great. Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked about this for those of you that were at RevB this year about, how TikTok was the interest based and Facebook was the people, and now both Instagram and TikTok are very interest based. You watch a video once and then you start seeing it on your page, not even an explore page, your home page, right? And so we have opportunity to be able to connect and get with more people, right? Be in front of more people, but how are we digging deeper with them and actually converting it to business? And I meant to text you this, but I forgot to. And let me pull it up. I was going to post it on the RevB page, so you guys are going to get a little free RevB post. And now I'm having trouble here. So it was on the creators page on Instagram, and it was basically like
Oh,
in.
yeah. What's meant for what?
Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm saving it to my desktop right now so I can open it up and share it on screen here. Um, but basically it was like which, engaging, how do you reach new audience? How do you engage your followers and how do you nurture your fans? And this was kind of like again something that I don't follow because I don't follow it's suggested for you, but and I didn't like it. But this was a really good and I didn't even send it. This is a really good post, right? That I was like, oh, like this is how like we need to figure out how we can dig deeper with our people, right? You can't just put out reels and carousels. Like, how are you going to create a deeper relationship for them to then do business with you when they're ready to buy or sell in that five
Yeah.
to 8 year cycle?
I couldn't even tell you the last time I did a live. I mean, to be honest with you, I tell people all the time, and you guys just like, I'm human and transparent. It's so much easier for me to tell you than obviously to do it. It's the same way with you guys, right? Like, you could probably tell somebody in your office, oh, here's some great ideas. And then you sitting there at your desk and you're like, I got nothing for me today. Like, I can't even imagine what I would post, right? So funny thing about that little graphic you showed, it always talks about reels being for new people. You guys, my reels do not go to new people. And I'm okay with that. Like rarely, like the huge percentage of the pie, my content goes to my audience, which I love, right? So it's not out there being like a growth surface for me. Why do I think that's happening? One, I don't use trending music. I was so glad that I don't anymore because I went back through some of my old posts. So many of the audio tracks are gone.
Yep.
So many of the voice is gone. I don't use trending audio. I go over a minute. So I'm doing the opposite of like all the things they say because I do have a plan, right? I have a plan to meet the few people in my audience. And yeah, maybe they'll share it and maybe I'll get a few little people that like don't know me. But they push short stuff. They push like the very short, like B-roll under 15 seconds with the trending audio, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to take this with a grain of salt. Reels do not reach new audiences necessarily for me. Could they try to do that with trial reels? Personally, I haven't done a trial reel yet. I'm planning to, but everyone I've talked to with trial reels, I'd be interested to hear from y'all, said that it wasn't like that great. Zero engagement, views, but not like any engagement. Katie, what do you have personal
So,
experience?
okay, so I'll just let me pull up my insights. I know some people that are crushing it with trial reels, and so for
Mhm.
me, I don't think trial reels should be where you're trying out new content. I think it should be a play of I'm trying to pick up new followers and get my content in front of people that don't know me. So often, what you can either do is when you're posting your post, you put a reel as a draft, and then
Mhm.
you duplicate it before you post, and then you post one as a trial and one as the reel, right?
Right.
One is the one on your profile and one is a trial.
Exactly.
But like for someone who exact opposite, my reels is a significant amount of non-followers, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's so significant. Um, Trial reels are like trash. I get like 50 views.
That's what everyone that I've personally asked. Now, I've asked like five people, so it's not like a whole lot of people, right?
this
But
this large study that I did.
every person, this super scientific study that I did with so many people, all of them said it was trash. But I know people that are doing 20 a week. I know people that are, that have done really well with them that I don't know, but have reported doing well with them. But Reels, yeah, you can reach new audiences. You guys, carousels for me is where it's at. Like
I, I
carousels always outperform for me on expertise-based content,
yep.
which is interesting because I have three buckets of content that we can talk about if you want, but that expertise content that I know a lot of us are leaning into heavy, for me, that performs better on a carousel than a reel.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's different for everyone. But man, probably need to get back into lives. And I've told so many people, just make your live your podcast like that. You don't have to create this
The
like crazy,
Connor Murnane method.
like literally just do lives and that becomes your quote unquote podcast. I could not tell you the last time I did a live.
Well,
It's time.
and I think here's the thing is you can say, hey, you should do this, and Eric has been posting some, Chris has been taking reels that have performed well and reposting them as a trial, but like, do you have the time when you are doing transactions, going on listing appointments, doing final walkthroughs, like all of the bullshit that our job is, to also like go through and audit your social media and repost your well performing reels every single week? Like, no, most of us don't, right? So like you either have to have a VA doing it or have some sort of process or SOP for it. Or as you just said, like if your content is longer and you said normally your reels are 90 seconds, right? Or over a minute, right? That's a lot of talking. And so for most people's attention span, that's probably more than they're willing to listen to. But if they see a carousel, they can flip through it pretty quickly. And they can also see it again on their feed when it's being fed up to them a second or a third time. So, like, I love the idea of carousels. Every time I have a reel that performs well, I post it as a carousel. So like maybe I should try to post it as a trial reel as well. But like I like doing it as a carousel. And like in my top posts over the last 30 days, two of my most, and I know views, but two of my highest performing posts based on views are carousels. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, and the nice thing with carousels, obviously, you probably all have noticed that now, like, kind of the trend is like video carousels, where you have like a little video in like each, carousel. If you're not talking it, I'm not usually obviously talking in my carousels. You could potentially, but what's nice is you can add music to those, and then
Yeah.
they will go into the Reels feed, and that's not like the end of the world if the music gets pulled because, you don't have a video, so that's kind of a nice thing too. But yeah, to your point. I take an idea and I make it into a reel and then into a carousel. And I don't do them back to back. Like the carousel I'm about to post was a reel from January of
Yep.
this year. So yeah, I do take the idea and sometimes I will tweak it and sometimes it's exactly the same. But that's what I'll do for it.
And so here's one, right? It's got a video in there, which is fun, right? Because it catches your eye. But then, like, here's all of her. Like,
Yeah.
if this were a real, like, I
Yeah.
mean, that would
Yeah.
be a freaking 15-minute video, right? Like that could be a YouTube, that could be a live.
By the
Um,
way, if you guys are wondering how to create personal content without being too private, this is your post.
I'll drop it in the chat here. I'll drop it in the chat. But then the other thing that I'm liking too is like if you just don't even want to take your video and put it into words and make it into a carousel, like Bam has been doing this. We've done it a couple times on the RevB page. Like here's an image with a title or whatever you want on it, and then here's the video.
Yeah.
Right. So I like that as a concept as well. So then like if this was originally a reel, like you literally just you could repost the same thing.
Hmm.
Only 7 people that follow you did it anyways.
Hmm.
So Ray, what do you got?
I saw my first trial reel in the wild, and it worked really well on me. So there was, I didn't follow the guy, but had I been interested in what he was doing, I would have followed him. But he said, "Hey, this is a trial reel." I can't even say it. "Hey, this is a trial reel, so I know you're not following me."
Yeah.
And it caught my attention immediately. I was like, "What?" And he was like, "This
Yeah.
is who I am. I'm an author. These are the types of books I write. If you're into that thing, connect."
I did
I
that
thought, wow,
on
that's
the
like a really good idea.
I did that on the RevB page. It's only gotten like 7 views, but I was like, this is your sign, or what did I say? Something to that effect. This is a trial reel, so I know you're not following me. Swipe to the left and then come to RevB. And it was just like a little reel of RevB. So like if you guys have seen that reel, like freaking go follow us first of all if you're on this call, following along and hanging out. But yeah, I was like, let's see if this works. I think I might do it on Houston Unlocked because like that one has a little bit more reach than the RevB page. Because I know you guys all follow RevB on Instagram. So it's not even you don't even see it. You didn't even get it. All right. Okay, so we talked about like the kind of actual like this is what you should think about on content. Like mentally, I know many of us, and I saw some people saying it in the chat. They're like, I'm over Instagram. I'm not doing it anymore. There are some people on here that are crushing on Instagram, but like even those that are crushing, I'm looking at a few people on the call here that I know everyone would be like, oh my God, I wish I had their Instagram. Like we fall into content ruts. We fall into, I don't know what to post. We fall into, no one wants to hear from me. And you get into a little bit of a mental funk.
Hmm.
Coach me out of it.
Oh, I was just having this call. It's funny, my assistant, I talked to this morning, and she's, makes her own content and she's in a total funk. And, it's going to be different for everybody, but I'm a big believer in like, if you don't feel it, like stop it for a while, or forever. For
Ooh.
example, I was not feeling my podcast anymore. I felt completely uninspired after doing it for years. Like I was just like, I'm not really here for this. And, is there some levels of non-resistance that I really need to look into, into my own self and find out? Yeah. But I kept trying to do it. I kept forcing it. I would pause it. I would come back again a few weeks later. I would pause it. I would come back again. And finally, I was like, why am I doing this? I don't enjoy this and I don't want to do it. And so there's times when we're frustrated because we're not seeing like the outcome, which is what I call creating from strategy. Because like the strategy is focused on what are the numbers? What is the outcome? Did I do the right formatting? Did I do the number of seconds? Did I do my hook? And then there's creating from energy, which sounds really woo, and it is. And what I'm working on these days is, am I focused on strategy, which is the outcome, and am I focused on energy? And it still gets me. I'm like, wow, these numbers just keep going down and down and down. But take a break. Like that you don't have to use social media as a content creator. Like, did we all forget that 25 years ago, like I actually had to call you and leave a 1 minute voicemail and wait for you to listen to it and then call me back? Wild. I had to have your phone number. I had to have your email. I would mail you something. I would go see you at Starbucks. Y'all, we have the ability to make human beings feel seen by looking at context. Social media is your database with context. And if it's Ray's like 32nd birthday, and I don't even like post something on social media, but I go and like send him something to his door, like that's using social media. Like you don't need to make content. You can take a pause. You can be like, I'm ready to get off this platform altogether. You can say, I'm gonna use it differently. So everybody thinks it has to be an all or none thing.
Mhm.
And you don't have to explain anything to anyone. Like, I'm not explaining why I'm tripling my posting. I don't need to. I'm not explaining why I'm taking a break from podcasting and not posting to it for a year and then re-upping. Like, no
Yeah.
one will even ask me. So it's figuring out why. Is it because my views are down? Is it because I feel like people aren't engaging? Okay. Well, then let's talk about, well, why do views being down make you feel bad? Are you stuck in a loop that your worthiness depends on a number? Okay, we're going deep on that, right? Use ChatGPT. Everyone's like, oh, don't use ChatGPT as your therapist. I use ChatGPT all the time for shadow work. I'm like, why am I upset? The blah, 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 right? And sometimes you just need something to like mirror it back to you. So there's those reasons why. And then there's like, maybe this ship has sailed. Maybe I'm in a different phase or season of my life. Maybe I don't need to do all of the things. So earlier this year, which, I haven't talked about, but I stopped doing all of the things for 6 months. And the reason I stopped doing all of the things is because I really wanted to focus on figuring out what I wanted to do. And so for me, I was like, if I'm going to figure out what I want to do, I need to be open enough and have the space to be able to let that energy come in, focus on it, really think about it. And I couldn't tell you the last time I posted on Facebook. I couldn't tell you the last time I posted on LinkedIn. I have no clue. My money has stayed steady, if not gone up, because I took the time to say, I'm going to focus on what is going to make me happy, focus on what I want to do, focus on these things. So you don't have to use social media the way you've been used to. You can peel it back, you can peel different layers, you can just stop. I mean, did we all forget that 25 years ago when we didn't have social media, everything worked? Like calling people worked, seeing people, having client appreciation parties, going into the office with our office mates, all of it still works.
Mhm.
So it's just a matter of figuring out what is my block, right? And sometimes when you have something like a chat GPT or something, it's like these could be your blocks. You're like, oh, dang, that actually is my block. Who knew? And then once you know, it's pretty hard to put it back in the box. So at least you're now aware of it and it's there. And at least you know now, like, okay, these are some of the challenges that I might be having with social media. These are might be some of the challenges. Like, I'll just be honest with you guys. People that know me really well, I don't post on TikTok because I've had like a experience with it where I was like, I don't like these people. They're mean and it made me feel bad. And there is a fear that I need to overcome to start being there again. And I'm not, embarrassed to say that. I'm here to say that there are things that get into our head, the stories that we tell ourselves and believe. And I need to work through all the things that go along with that. So my goal is to start posting again over there because why not? I have the content. I might as well put it over there too. So you can take breaks, you can step away. But what I would recommend you do is when I stepped away from TikTok, I knew why. I wasn't like, I just don't like it. Like I knew, like, okay, this is something I need to work on.
Yeah.
This is a fear that I have that I need to start working on. And I'm going to give myself the time to do it. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to find something that I love to do. I love being in Instagram stories. I don't love making reels. I'll be really honest. I like being in stories. And so that's where I focus.
Yeah.
So you get to use it different ways and you don't have to be everywhere all at once. And yeah, will you grow a lot slower? Sure. I'm growing a lot slower than a lot of people. But again, those numbers do not align with the numbers that are in my bank account. They just don't. And the people who are booking me now for speaking, y'all, they were like, oh, 8 years ago, I went to an event and you were there. I'm like, oh, cool. That's awesome. Right. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens when I do up it, and maybe there'll be no change.
I don't think they're on this call, but I know that you and a few others were the OG Snapchat
Yeah,
group that's
yeah,
how you guys all connected. And of
yeah.
course, they're not here for me to call them out here, but all right. Love what you're saying. I think that all of us have been in a content rut and what at one time or another. And so having that like check-in moment of like, is this just, the one that you need to power through, two that you need to stop, or just maybe take a little bit of a pause, like is something to think about rather than just sitting there and wallowing the fact that you're not posting, and then it becomes the, Austin Powers, you eat because you're unhappy, and you're unhappy because you eat, like, cycle, and then you're just pissed that you haven't made any content, and it's a whole thing. Maybe I'm just talking about me, but let's go back to the chat.
Relate.
Is that just me?
Totally
Is that,
relate.
is that just
Totally relate.
okay? All right, whatever. Lorraine was asking. Okay, so Instagram, and I don't know if you're Lorraine, this is what you're asking, but I'm going to ask it in my way, and then you can clarify if you want it to ask a different question. But Instagram content is now showing up in the Googles, right? So if you Google something, it's showing up. Instagram is now being served up as videos. And so while that was happening before, now every post that's public on a public profile is being pushed out, right? Potentially. Are you seeing now, like, hyper local content is now showing up more, and that's helping agents, or what? Do you have any?
That's the prediction, right? So it's already been happening. They've already been indexing everything from LinkedIn to TikTok to Shorts, obviously. But what was interesting is the twist that I look at is chat or AI, and how we now are all using chat. And what's interesting is how we use AI. We don't use AI like we use Google, which is really weird. Like, I'm like, why do I use chat like I'm talking to it, asking a question like I would ask Katie? But when I go to Google, it's keywords questions, right? And so what's happening is that I don't know if anybody's heard of this. It's answer engine optimization, AEO.
Yep.
So it's like SEO's like cousin, right? And I just saw this article, maybe I'll do a reel about it, from Ad Age. I saw it, I took a screenshot of it, and basically it's these huge brands, like Cetaphil was the example that they showed. And now Cetaphil is changing how they describe their lotion or their face wash to make it sound like something I would actually ask chat in the way that I would talk and describe it that way. So I think that's great for a lot of us because we answer a lot of questions in our content. And I think the more natural the language is and the more we talk to the camera like a friend, which, is great. And it's hard if you script, it's going to be a little bit harder because you're going to have to really try to get into those natural language models. But I think that's going to be a big piece and component. I would imagine at some point, I know that they're doing this for products, I think, and brands, maybe companies too. There is a way, I don't know how, but you could probably go down a YouTube rabbit hole on it. There is a way people are now getting their brands and products listed in GPTs, so that when people are typing things in, they'll be able to find it. So that's going to become more and more and more and more. And so I think just making a lot of content, blogs, like I'm going back to the blog, to be honest. I'm doing more of that. And I, again, took a break from that. So I'm just repurposing the content that I have, and you can take it to chat, have them make a blog out of it, and pop it up on your website. So they've already been indexing it. But
Yeah.
now we will be able to be found by lots of other people that aren't on that platform that are searching for those topics. I think hyperlocal would be massively huge because that's what Google is. It's showing you those local. So anything in real estate that's hyperlocal. That's why you guys who are doing fun videos about like your favorite spots around town, those usually got more reach and views because again, you're not narrowing down to real estate in your town. Now you're talking about things to do and places in your town, which opens up the width and like the reach of that content. So that's always a good one to do, especially with the searching. I think that we'll see that. So
Yeah, if you were like an Alyssa Kernot or
yeah.
someone like that. Alyssa Kernot count one. Alyssa, am I allowed to do it on my own call? Like, say your name and then add it to the count? There's a joke, Chelsea. Alyssa has been on Eric Simon and Jason Cassidy's podcast, The Walkthrough, the BAM podcast, The Walkthrough, a few times. Maybe like 50. But she also they
Did she
mention her
send
a
them a
lot.
cease and desist? No, I'm kidding.
So that's the joke, is like, she's like, can you please stop using my name? And so whenever Jason or Eric are involved in this call, I keep an Alyssa count. So sometimes I just use her full name just
You
to.
should just start charging $5 every time you say my name because it really is your likeness, right? It's your
It's
copyright.
literally, yeah.
So absolutely, like you know how we can't sing happy birthday That's why, because that song's copyrighted and you're not going to pay for it. So every time they say your name, get your $5.
You should have chat write like up like a super formal sounding letter of like, some sort of
Cease and
payout
desist.
request.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
It's
would be
happening
funny.
now.
I like it. Yeah. Barb and Ray. Ray probably is already asking his chat, Claude, and whatever else to write it up and cross-referencing them to each other to give you
I
a
do love
fully
cross-referencing Claude and chat. That's my new favorite thing.
Something that you mentioned though, back to being serious. One, obviously hyperlocal content is winning right now, but two, the blogging, right? And so we are now taking every single one of our posts and putting it onto our website as a blog just to see if we can get some more going on that front. And then the other thing that I've heard is that like chat gpt, like they can't read your Google reviews and they can't read things. So like a lot of times when they say that someone's an award-winning realtor, or they're like the smartest realtor in all of Houston, Texas, like they're literally pulling that from like their website where they say that they're the smartest realtor in Houston, Texas. Like don't use that as your tagline, but like because I am. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you already cornered that one.
yeah, it's mine, it's in my, but like we've like keyword stuffed the end of the thing where it's like, hey, we're the top whatever number ranking team per real trends and blah 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 1% this bullshit whatever, and like all of that's in our thing, so that like that's continuing to be put on the internet by us, but like so that hopefully chat at some point will read that.
Yeah, I would imagine at some point chat will get even smarter than it is now, and they'll do some sort of thing like they've done with Google over the years to sort of filter some of that stuff out, or remedy it, if you will, because they're going to figure out, the people are going to figure that out. Yeah, for sure. That's I'm sure what's happening.
Okay, so Barb just got her first speaking inquiry where they asked chat gpt,
Yeah.
right? Barb, have you been doing anything special as far as like trying to put out more stuff into the world? I feel like you've been putting out more content lately than you have maybe, or I'm seeing it more, but like I feel like you've been putting out more content.
That's a good thing, right? No, but what I'm saying about like specifically putting my realtor hat on is I know based on, so Chelsea knows this happened because we talk 15,000 times a day. And when this happened, my assistant, without me even asking, went to her GPT, asked for a speaker like me without using my name. It listed 3 speakers. I was first. Then she went and asked it, why did you rank Barb first? Gave them a whole explanation, but most importantly, it was words and things that we've actually fed it ourselves. Yeah. And what I mean by that is, so when you're taking the blogs you're writing, then upload them to GPT and say like, maximize the use of this for a carousel post, a reel, like put your own content that you're actually creating into ChatGPT, because then it's reading it as your content and it's labeling you and it's connecting you with the creator of that content, the best in Houston, the best in wherever. And so everything it was sending back to us as why I was the best speaker was all stuff we had programmed it with.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think that not using
was everything into chat, as far as like now having a thing that's like I go through my content, go through this, and it literally will go through my old posts, and I remember it. I'm like, I've seen this before. I wrote it, right? Like a year ago.
Sounds familiar.
That was good.
And so, Barb's comment to her comment was, go ask who's the best real estate agent in your city. When you do that, at the bottom and after each post, it has the sources, right? So it'll say source. So one is like Fast Expert is one that it's pulling from. And so there's different websites and different things. And so you'll see some that are like national referral sites, or like places where you can put yourself onto where people can search for best realtor in San Antonio or in Arizona or wherever, right? But then, some of it is also feeding it info. There's a lot that you can do, and that's probably something that you can hop onto a Tuesday call with Ray and Tim where they talk all about AI, and maybe that'll be something for a future call, Ray, that you guys can put down as a topic.
We're actually hitting it tomorrow because I figured it out last week. I was not listed,
don't ruin it.
And now I am listed. I'm not going to tell you how I did it. You gotta tune in tomorrow.
You gotta tune in 10 a.m.
It's really easy and not even going to take all the call. Like, it's a really short instructional. Here's how to do it.
All right. Well, Tuesday, 10 Central, I'm dropping it in the chat.
Thank you.
Go ahead and do that. Okay. So is anyone else's mind spinning right now? My mind is spinning right now. I'm like, I have so many things I want to ask. I have so many things I want to say. I should probably be posting more content. Um, have you been using edits?
I have been using edits, and what I will say about edits is it's a lot better now than when I started using
Oh,
it.
it's trash when it first came out.
I stopped using CapCut. I used edits because Adam Mosseri says for a while, he like literally is on record. He's like, for a while, it's going to help you increase your reach.
Oh no, I just screenshotted the thing because he did a little ask me anything
Yeah. I was
over
like,
the
okay,
weekend,
so
and
let's
yeah,
try it. Yeah. I love the crispness of it. Okay. The video quality I've shot on the back of my phone. I don't know what it is. I don't know what magic they're doing, but it's crisper and clearer and higher quality in edits, even though I have the same dang settings on my phone. So I don't know why my iPhone camera versus edit specifically, but I feel like the quality is much higher. I have a lot of glitches. I have a lot of glitches with closed captioning. I have recently come across a glitch where it will darken everything. And then once it starts playing, it will start to get lighter, which is odd. I can't say that I've noticed any like major differences at all from using it, but I do like to use the things inside of the apps. But yeah, edits is much better now because they have keyframes.
yeah.
Um, and keyframes are the thing that like make you go like when people like slowly zoom in like this and then they slowly zoom out
That's
like
not
that.
just you moving. That's not just you moving
Yeah,
closer to
no, I
the
used
camera.
to because I
Huh.
didn't used to know how to do that. So I used to literally sit in front of my camera and go like slowly and like this, which means if you guys don't want to learn how to edit, you could literally just do
Oh my God. Please just Google add keyframes or
Yeah.
VN is an on phone editing app and you can just do zoom in, zoom out on it. So you don't even have to add keyframes. It's like you just
Yeah.
click zoom.
Actually,
Click.
edits has what's it called? Effects. There's an effects menu and there is like slow zoom, zoom out,
Nice, nice.
zoom in. So they do have those. But yes, I am using edits. I don't know. I can't say that I've noticed any I haven't noticed anything drastic, okay?
Yeah. I
But
like the that I get pinged with like a little like this is how that reel's performing with like slightly better analytics than just like this is how many
yes,
views or whatever it is. So
it
like I
does
like
have
that.
some better analytics, which, I don't use. So that's
If
great
you're
for,
into that kind of thing.
yeah, I
Um
actually never open the notification. I'm like, yeah,
you're like, I don't give a shit about the views.
yeah,
Instagram. Take that trash
exactly.
elsewhere, Masseri. Lindley wants to know
Absolutely do not show me performance information.
it's posted. Anyways, are you recording in edits or you're recording on your camera and then uploading the
I record into edits now. And so I've recorded into edits. I've also recently, and I just, try it. I tried all the ways. I've recorded into edits. Because I've been running into some glitches, I've started just recording on my phone and then uploading it to edits, which is kind of a pain in the neck, but I just have so many glitches. Lately, I like to I still use the selfie camera. I don't use the back camera because, again, it's like I don't want to get a thing out. I don't want to get like a monitor. I'm just too lazy and I can't be bothered. So I do selfie style. I do cinematic. I know not every phone has cinematic, but I do cinematic, and I've been uploading that. But I've gone back and forth between recording directly into edits and recording directly onto my phone.
there are many things that I love about you, but I love that you're just so real. You're like, I should do the back camera, but it just takes too freaking long. So just freaking open it
I
up,
know.
record the
I,
video, and let's
I'm
go.
like, I've got the monitor, but then I have to like connect my phone to the Wi-Fi monitor, and then that's really it. But that's too much.
I just hope for the best. Like if I do point 0.5 and I pull my arm out and
Yeah.
use
I
the back
haven't
camera, I
mastered
just hope
that, but
for
I
the
do want
best.
to do the point 0.5. I like that's a kind of a vibe. I like that, but I
Well,
haven't.
because then if you can zoom it in slightly, right? So that like one, your entire arm isn't like this, and two, like then you can like, you know,
Yeah.
center it more appropriately because like I'll like have it over here. I'm like, why wasn't this centered on my face? Like I don't know why I can't seem to, or I just hire my videographer and have him do it
Yeah.
so that it's actually edited and not just sitting in my camera roll for a year. But I digress. All right. Um okay, we've got a little back and forth going. people about uploading their finished video to edits. I think that like similar to like when people would do that with like editing it in Instagram Live, I think you actually have to do like a thing or two. You can't just like upload, download, post. I think you have to like add some fonts or whatever, but like test it out. We can circle back on that. But I think at the end of the day, like we can talk about all of the hacks for like getting more, views or ideas or whatever, but like just like at a certain point, just post the content. Like, when we're sitting here trying to like edit the edit to upload it, do it as a trial reel and to care, like just like post the content, maybe spend some of that time like prospecting, whatever that looks like for you. And, let's sell some real estate. There's no fee for edits. It is free 99.
I mean, for now.
Yeah, right. Masari's gonna he's like a very good drug dealer. He's gonna get you hooked. And then once you're hooked and they've improved it to where it's better than CapCut, they're gonna be like, haha, gotcha.
I bet it'll be ads related. Like if you don't want to see ads or have an ad placed in your thing, like you can upgrade. I don't know. We'll see.
What is it? $14.99 is there a magical number that you pay it? $14.99 a month, like you pay it.
Yeah.
But
maybe it's like Snapchat and you have like corporate themed templates to use and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hope not.
We'll see. Fingers crossed that it stays free. What else is on your mind?
Another thing I would say, like the big thing that I personally also struggle with, is I get really stuck in one category, if you will. I don't like to use words like pillars or buckets or categories, but for ease of conversation here.
Speaking of the category that I get stuck in.
Yes. So, almost every single time I look at someone's content because they're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm doing reels, I'm doing carousels. Like, I'm actually doing really good, pretty valuable content. Like, what's the deal? One, the problem is there's like three buckets of content I always focus on. One is personal, one is expertise, one is sales. And most of us are stuck in expertise, right? Because we all got the same memo. We all went to the same conference. We all read 22 books that said, if you're going to show up, provide value. We do not equate value with anything other than educational content. We immediately think, oh, that's going to be something that's going to be helpful. It's going to be an education. It's going to be a tutorial. It's going to be a tip, a trick, a hack. And we immediately think, well, my life is not valuable. How would that help someone? So we kind of move that off the potentials. When in reality, like I want you to think about when you're spending time with friends, your friend isn't sitting across the table teaching you something new. Like we're just like talking about the most random, mundane things ever. Like my dog, Daisy, she's never taught me one thing. A lot of value there, though, right? So we always look at our personal stuff and think there's not a lot of value. So I'm going to go really light on that. I'm going to go heavy in expertise. The nice thing about expertise is in the world that we're talking about now, searchable, very searchable. You're creating a library of searchable content, right? Because you are answering questions, you are giving helpful things that people would query about. It's also very shareable, right? Like I love Katie's cutie patootie babies, but like it would be kind of weird if I shared her picture of her kids, right? Like she'd be like, okay,
yeah,
well,
can you actually stop? I've
please,
speaking of cease and
please.
desist, bro, I'm gonna send you
Right. So I'm not
totally
gonna share
doing
that.
this now.
So that's okay. Not everything needs to be shareable, but expertise content is for shares. It's for search and it's for building trust. Even if people aren't watching all of your videos, like they see you, like they see Katie out there doing videos over and over and over and over again on the same general topic. So that's like burned into their brain, right? But the problem is we get all discouraged because we're like, well, I'm doing really good content. It's high value and like it's crickets. Well, you know what? It's not made for engagement. You know what's made for engagement? Personal content. Personal content is made for engagement. And the reason it gets a lot of engagement, you guys have probably heard me say this before, small talk always leads to big talk. Your content that's super valuable and helpful about real estate, it's big talk. Because one, like you're talking about topics that I have to sit and pay attention to and think about. God forbid you talk about like interest rates and like information, because then my brain's like, ooh, too many brain calories. So one of the ways that I also make myself feel better, right, pick myself up is let me do a little personal post. And if you really want to get into more engagement in your personal post, you need to be asking people for help and advice and feedback, because what happens is it triggers in our brains, oh, I want to help someone. Like ultimately we do want to help people and it makes us feel good. We get a hit of dopamine when we give somebody a recommendation. And so the personal stuff, not private, but the personal stuff that you would share with anyone that you just met at a conference, whether it's like what series you're watching, your podcast, what kind of recipes you like all the stuff that you think has zero value, when you ask people for help, when you say, can you help me pick between this and this? What do you think? What are your recommendations? People will engage. The more we engage with someone, the more likely we're going to pay attention to their expertise content and the more likely we're going to potentially engage with it. It's an accelerant. Okay. So I get stuck in expertise and I'm like, oh, but I put personal stuff in the stories, but I didn't put a lot of personal stuff in the feed. And so that's where you're going to get comments and engagement, but people aren't going to share that, right? The value for you on that is engagement and relatability. Okay. That accelerates people paying attention to your expertise stuff and potentially engaging there. So if you don't have that, it's going to take a lot longer. Now, some of you are stuck in personal and you're like, no, 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 I have tons of conversations. I just don't really get a lot of real estate business. It's because you are stuck in personal and we need to see what you're good at and what you're doing. And then the last one is sales, right? And sales is like the stuff that none of us want to post, me included. I have a human limiting belief that if I post something about my products, my services, and tell you you can sign up, that everybody will think I sell all the time, that all I want to do is sell. That's silly, right? So that's like the just listed, the just solds, the testimonials, like all of that stuff. That is sales content, your product, your service, and about it. And we think, oh, I don't want to post that because it's not going to get any engagement. Like nobody's going to comment on my testimonial posts. Okay, it's not for that. Personal's for engagement, expertise is for shares and search and trust, and your sales stuff is to actually get people to take action. Because y'all have signed up for something like months ago, and those people email you like religiously every week. And if you're like me, you just never unsubscribe. I don't know why. And then 6 months later, I'm in the right time, right place for me. It pops into my email inbox. I open it up and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to sign up for that course. Click, right?
Yeah.
So you need all three. The problem is most of us are stuck only in expertise. And so if you want to get more engagement, you need to do some personal. And if you want to get some more conversions, you're going to need to tell people what you do and show people what you do. So some people are stuck in one, in sales, but a lot of us are stuck in expertise. I would say 90%. And every once in a while, you get somebody who's stuck in personal. And then that's why they're not getting any conversion. So those are sort of the balance.
Yeah.
You can make it as structured or as loose as you want. I'm an unstructured girly. Like the mood hits me and I'm like, oh, it's been a while since I've done personal. If you want to schedule it out in your calendar and you're like, Monday's going to be personal, Friday's going to be da 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 da, fine. Like have at it, but you don't have to make it rigid unless you want to. It's just purely like a go back and look at your last 10 posts.
And where do
Are
you
they
need to
all
plug in more? Yeah.
expertise? Are they all expertise? Are they mostly sales? Are they mostly personal? So now you know where you kind of have to go from there.
Well, and so many people in this community have seen a lot of success with the sales being in the stories, right?
Mhm.
And so doing polls and having engaging content in your stories that gets people to vote, that then you can have DMs with them that
Mhm.
are related to buying and selling real estate, that are related to the things that you are looking to do with clients, right? And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a feed post of like, I help people sell real estate as a
Yeah.
post, right? But you can do things that create engagement in your stories
Mhm.
that feels a little less salesy, right? And a little bit more personal that then hops into business. But I love that kind of as a breakdown because yeah, that there needs to be a good mix. You can't just lean in all on one thing in order
Well, I mean,
to
you
get content.
can, but the key is you can be live in sales. You can live in expertise, right? You never even have to do anything personal. But if you want to get faster results,
I want all the results. Yeah,
yeah.
give me the
So I always
results.
tell people like you don't have to do all three. Like if you're like, no, I'm just always going to do expertise, that's fine. But it's proven that if you add in some of those other things and have somewhat of a balance, it's going to happen faster. But you can go the slower route and just live in expertise. No
For
rules.
sure. All right. So couple of things. One, we have event tickets for the 26 events that our agent led this fall, everywhere from Houston to San Diego to Boston to Florida for Further Together dropped that in the chat. So hop in there, see if you've got one in your city. I see many people that are hosting them on this call. I see many people that are in those cities. So click on there, check it out. Let's get to some of these events. Another event that is coming up in 2026, we're already planning stuff for 2026, is obviously Real Estate Video Blueprint, but you guys already know about that. What you may not know about is the Closers Cruise that Chelsea's going to be on with some of our friends from Minnesota and Texas. They are hosting the Closers Cruise January 10th through the 17th, 2026. I forget where it's going. I should have written that down. It's going to some cities, but you're going to be on the boat. Yeah.
We're going to Belize, Honduras, Cozumel, and we're going out of Miami is where we're starting.
All right. Everyone knows if you're going to go on a cruise, going out of Florida, like those are really great places to be. And it's going to be January. So for everyone except for like Sarah and Mel and Kimberly and Brittany, like you guys are going to be like, and you guys are going to be pissed that it's cold. So January 10th through the 17th, you guys should consider going on the Closers Cruise. Hannah will be there, dropping all kinds of, if you go and you're on this call and you DM her, she doesn't know I'm saying this. She will show you how to do lip sync TikToks as well as she does. She will work with you so that you don't look like a dumbass like me and you look good like her. So she will do that personal tutorial if you sign up after this call.
That's fine. We'll do that.
Hannah's like, what the hell? Have you guys seen her lip syncs? They are like
10 out of 10
on point. Her REVB video contest submission last year, I like watched it 75 times because I'm just like, I'm gonna see her mess up. She never messed up. She never messed up. No, Closers Cruise, gonna be a good time. You can learn how to lip sync, learn all of the things from Chelsea, and just freaking get a tan in January. Come back to Spokane and be like, look at me, I'm tan. You guys are pale. So yeah, you should do it. All right, Chelsea, any other thoughts? What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, we've got 4 months left of this year and it's not too late. Like you can let it go. You can let your metrics go. You can actually just create and have fun and you can create what you want. I don't know if anybody's read Rick Rubin's book, but man, that book, there's so many gems in there. But one of them is my favorite. He's like, I don't actually create for anyone else. I create for me and what I want to create. And that's how artists do it, right? So one of the things I always ask anyone is, are you enjoying what you're doing? Because I've made a lot of content where I didn't enjoy it and I have so much more fun when I actually am like, oh, I actually like this. I like the style. I do it this way. Like Hannah's great at lip syncing. I am horrible at it. Like she has to get joy from that. Like that has to bring you joy, Hannah. Like there's something in that essence where you're like, yes, that was fun. So I would say be like Rick Rubin and just, let go of some of the metrics. Like just start creating and try it and have fun. And yeah, I actually am a proponent of posting and ghosting. Shocking, right? Like the opposite of what everybody says. Like it's okay if you post something and you like let it go for like 8 hours or the next day. Like nothing's going to happen if you don't get in there and like, oh my gosh, immediately comment back on something. And I even screenshotted it from Instagram. It's like, hey, you may have potential better reach if you reply in the first few days. Like I have it in writing from Instagram. Sometimes that's what you need to do if you're overthinking, is just post it and ghost it. You'll come back to it later and just let it go.
The book is Creative Act.
Creative Act. That's right. Yeah.
Boom.
So
all right.
good.
Just dropped it in the chat. I feel like you and I need to we are so different in our content strategy. We need to spend, we already spend a good amount of time together, but we need to spend more time in conversation because I feel like we could both give each other you're famous for your, I never batch. I do what feels. And I'm like, this has to be on a schedule and a chart.
But that's great because it all works.
It does all work.
Awesome.
That's the moral of the story. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining, Chelsea. You are the absolute best. Thank you for dropping so much knowledge on us today. And I feel like everyone's going to leave here today feeling a little bit better about their content journey. So thank you for that. And if you guys aren't already connected with Chelsea on Instagram, hop over there, give her a follow, tag her on, a story post today that you were on this call with her, and we'll see you on the next call.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. See you on the socials. Thanks, Katie. Bye, Ray.